Hello again to all you lovely mailplussers. I've certainly got that Friday feeling and I'm sure you do too. So what better way is there to see in the weekend than playing this afternoon's Mailplus Trivia Live? I'm Melissa Hartzell and a big hello to all of you joining me today. I'm sure there's some fresh faces amongst you as well as some old hands, but we're all equal here at the starting line and we're still offering you the chance to win up to £1,000. A few important guidelines for those that feel in the dark. I'll be asking you 10 general knowledge questions from some of your favourite categories. You have 10 seconds to answer each question, and if you answer all 10 correctly, you win a share of that enticing prize money. The winners will split the cash pot between them, and in some of our recent games, that's been shared between only a few people, so there's some big cash prizes to be won. And remember, if you do get one wrong, there's always next week's game that you can take part in when you're ready and refreshed after the weekend. When you choose and tap the answer you want to select, there's no changing your choice. And if you turn up a fraction too late and miss the first question, your dreams of winning Mailplus Trivia Live will already be dashed. We don't want that. We also don't want you to forget to play. So set an alarm on your phone as we're here every weekday at 12:15 sharp. One final word of warning. If you end up getting one wrong, you'll be eliminated from winning the cash, but you're welcome to carry on playing along. Hopefully you'll find it interesting, even if the money slipped through your fingers this time round. Okay then, rules and regulations in place. Let's let the games begin with question 1. Which volcanic mountain in Washington state erupted in May 1980 with disastrous consequences? Mount Vesuvius, Mount St. Helens, or Mount Etna? In the 6th century, a volcanic eruption in Iceland coughed up so many tons of ash that it blocked out the sun for an estimated 18 months, causing snowfall, international crop failure, extreme drought, famine, and even disease. The cooler conditions being the perfect breeding ground for bacteria spread. Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980 and was declared the most destructive in American history. The near supersonic blast caused devastation as far as 19 miles away, and scientists labelled anything 8 miles within the volcano's reach the tree removal zone because even trees were totally destroyed without a trace. On to question 2. Which of these actors has not played Doctor Who on television? David Tennant, Matt Smith, or Bradley Walsh? The famous police box themed TARDIS is actually meant to blend into whatever time and place that it travels to by imitating the decor of the age. However, in the pilot episode, we're told that the cloaking device, known as a chameleon circuit, is broken and therefore it's stuck as a police box. It was Bradley Walsh that has featured in the show but has never played the Time Lord. David Tennant and Matt Smith have both played the Doctor, and quite the feat to be proud of considering it's the longest running science fiction show in the world, dating back to its pilot in 1963. Amongst other actors to have been asked to play the Doctor but turned it down are Hugh Grant, Benedict Cumberbatch, and even Catherine Zeta-Jones. Moving straight on to question 3. Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are better known by what name? Christian Scientists, Mormons, or Moonies? Romans referred to Christians as atheists because they didn't believe in their gods, such as Jupiter and Apollo. The answer here is Mormons, a movement that originated in the 1820s in Western New York, and they hold the belief that the Garden of Eden is a lot closer to home than the Bible makes out, located somewhere in Jackson County, Missouri. It's time to check in with you. We're 1/3 of the way through, and there's been a few eliminations already, but 2,730 of you sailing through. Well done to Lynn, Dorothy, Alan 6, and Richard 3 getting all 3 of those right. Let's move swiftly on to the next stage. It's question 4. In Greek mythology, which creature had the body of a man and the head of a bull? Cyclops, Centaur, or Minotaur? Greek mythological beasts, as well as their forms of punishments, were some of the most terrifying, like Medusa, for example, who was originally a beautiful blonde-haired woman punished by the gods for falling in love with Poseidon by replacing her hair for snakes and turning to stone anyone she made eye contact with. The beast in question here is the Minotaur, who occupied the labyrinth. Every 7 years, a group of young men and women was sent into the labyrinth as a sacrificial feast for the Minotaur, and it was in one of these groups that Theseus slipped in unnoticed, thus giving him the chance to slay the blood-hungry beast. On to question 5. Which of these musicians did not die age 27? Amy Winehouse, Sid Vicious, or Kurt Cobain? 27 is the age that a disproportionately high amount of musicians passed away, such as Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, and Jimi Hendrix. Others in the nickname 27 Club were Amy Winehouse and Kurt Cobain. Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols was not one of them, passing away at age 21. Sid Vicious's nickname was an ironic one, since he was described by fellow band member Johnny Rotten as being so harmless that he couldn't punch his way out of a bag of crisps. How are we doing at the halfway mark? 1,723 of you getting that one right. We still have some strong trivia minds amongst us. Frank 5, David 30, Alan 6. Well done to you. Let's see how you keep up as we enter the second half. It's question 6. The words poor, and poor are examples of what? Homonyms, homophones, or homographs? Other examples which could cause a mix-up would be the difference between your friends calling you a warrior or a warrior, one being a compliment for your persistence and battle-like courage, the other meaning you have neurotic tendencies and worry too much. It's homophones, defined as 2 or more words having the same pronunciation but different meanings. Homographs are 2 or more words spelled the same but not necessarily pronounced the same, like wind to describe the weather, and wind as in winding a clock back. Homonyms are 2 or more words having the same spelling or pronunciation but different meanings, like the bark of a dog or the bark of a tree. Here's question 7. Which of these Canadian territories does not have a border with Alaska? Quebec, Yukon Territory, or British Columbia? Alaska is America's biggest state, almost 3 times the size of the second biggest, Texas. It has more coastline than the rest of the United States combined, 1 bear for every 20 humans, 100,000 glaciers, and 3 million lakes. That's a lot of nature to go around for a state with very few people in. Quebec does not share a border with it because it's found on the east coast. It was the first part of Canada to be populated by the French when King Francis I commissioned an expedition to find a western route to China in 1522. And Quebec is actually derived from the French word meaning where the river narrows. Only 3 questions to go, and 1,154 players still in with a chance of winning a share of the £1,000 prize. Keep up the good work. Let's move on to question 8. Which of these chemical element symbols is 2 letters long? Potassium, carbon, or chlorine? In the periodic table, francium is the rarest element on Earth. There are probably no more than a few ounces of it on Earth at any given time, and it's worth about £800 million per gram. Not that it's for sale or ever could be, because its half-life is only 22 minutes long. Chlorine, or Cl, is the chemical element with a symbol that's only 2 letters long. Although it's what you associate with putting in swimming pools and turning your hair green, it's actually produced in the human body naturally. It's part of our immune system, just like it's part of a swimming pool when you add it to the water. And moving on to our penultimate question. It's question 9. How often do your taste buds regenerate? Every day, every 2 weeks, or every 6 months? Taste buds aren't just to enjoy food. They're a survival mechanism, just like everything else in the body, and without them, we'd probably have died off. Bitter and sour tastes might indicate plants that are poisonous or foods that are rotten. The back of our tongue is sensitive to bitter tastes, so we can spit out these poisonous foods before we swallow them. Sweet and salty tastes let us know foods are rich in nutrients. Taste buds regenerate every 2 weeks. The tongue is not just one muscle, it's made up of 8, and it's actually got a high proportion of fat in it. So if you put on weight, your tongue will too. And this is why snoring is more common with people who have an above average body mass index. Well then, we're here at question number 10 already. The golden ticket to that cash prize is waiting for you just over the other side. And we have 466 players still playing for the cash. Well done to you. Susan 2, Delco, Jay Turner, Trivia King, James 15 and Ian 12. You're still in with a shot. So thinking caps back on as we see what's behind the door with question 10. Who was the first actor to win the Best Actor Oscar in consecutive years? Gary Cooper, Marlon Brando, or Spencer Tracy? The first Oscars ceremony was held in 1929 with only 270 guests in attendance. It lasted around 15 minutes and Emil Jannings won the first ever Best Actor award, but back in the day it came as no surprise since the winners had been announced months earlier. Spencer Tracy won the Best Actor award in consecutive years, firstly in the film Captain Courageous, and the next year with his performance in the film Boys Town. Early in his career as an actor, he and his flatmate, fellow actor Pat O'Brien, were struggling so much to make any money that they had to split the cost of a suit between them and take turns wearing it to their auditions. Well, it worked out in the end for these warriors. Persistence was key. And congratulations to our 288 winners. You did not step a foot wrong. Well done to you all for getting this far. As promised, you have the pleasure of splitting the cash prize. A huge well done to Mystic 18, Delco, Mark 11, Jay Turner 098, James 15 and Ian 12, and of course to all of today's winners. If you're leaving without any money, as you'll know by now, you're always welcome to try again next week, starting Monday. Pay us a visit and see what the next set of 10 questions are. Every day is of course different, and one set might be exactly what you're looking for. Why not introduce a friend to the game? If they win, they'll buy you a drink when the pubs are back open, and we're all looking forward to that. Thanks again for playing along with us today, and we'll see you again at the same time next week where there'll be another chance to win £1,000 on mailplus Trivia Live. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, have a great weekend, goodbye for now.